Some days it's just too hot to cook, and all you want to eat is a nice refreshing salad. But if you're anything like me, they don't keep you full for long. Let me put you onto Kisir, a Turkish bulgur and minced herb salad similar to Lebanese tabbouleh that packs a punch of flavour. Bulgur and fresh greens are mixed with pepper paste and pomegranate molasses to give you a salad that is packed with sour and umami flavours. Best of all, it's really filling. It's perfect for serving at a barbecue, and if you're part of the Tang gang like me, it'll be a regular on your table in no time. Today I'll show you how to make a traditional Turkish kisir that is vegan, raw and delicious. Before we get started, I'm Obi and I want to get you cooking delicious Middle Eastern food at home. Consider subscribing if you'd like to see new step-by-step Middle Eastern recipes every week. Now let's jump right in. So first thing we're going to do is get some bulgur soaking. So I'm going to add 250 grams or 1 1/4 cup of bulgur to a large bowl. If you don't know what bulgur is, well, it's basically whole wheat grains which have been cracked into small pieces. It's a rich source of fibre and it's quite low in calories. And when cooked, it has a slightly chewy texture and nutty flavour. Usually to cook it, you'd soak it in water overnight or boil it in a pot. But here's a hack I learned from Rafika's kitchen that yields perfect results. Add 470 milliliters or 2 cups total of water to your bulgur, half of which is boiling and the other half room temperature. Using just boiling water would make the bulgur mushy, and using just room temperature it would take a long time to cook. In 15 minutes the bulgur will be ready to use, so set it aside so we can chop the vegetables. We'll start off with the parsley, and this may look like a lot, but we're about to mince it into tiny pieces. I'm chopping 200 grams or 7 ounces of parsley, though you can use less if wanted. Now I'm no expert when it comes to mincing, but the basic idea is rocking your knife back and forth through the herbs. Every time you reach the end of the board, change direction or fold your chopped herbs back into the centre of the board. As you work your way through the herbs, the pieces will get smaller and smaller. Mince your parsley till you reach this fine size and then set it aside in a bowl. Next up is the mint, and you want about 8 to 10 sprigs of large leaves for this. Pull the leaves off of the stems and then start mincing it again. Mince them until they are just a little bit bigger than the minced parsley. You should have about 1/3 cup of minced mint leaves when done, which you should add to your parsley. Next it's onto the spring onions, which you'll need about 8 of. For the green parts towards the top, you want to chop them into circles about 1/2 centimeter or 1/4 inch thick. And then as you get towards the white part of the spring onion, chop them half that thickness or smaller. Slice all of your spring onions this way, and when you're done, this is what you should be left with. Add them to the other minced vegetables and you're ready to go. With everything prepared, we can start assembling the salad. And we'll start off by pouring the bulgur out into a tray. Your bulgur should be cooked now, and if you try it, it'll be soft and chewy. Add 1 1/2 tablespoons of tomato paste to the bulgur, and I recommend getting the premium kind as we won't be cooking it. Next, add in 1 1/2 tablespoons of Turkish hot red pepper paste. If you don't have this, add tomato paste instead and some paprika. Next up is the spices, and we're adding 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of Aleppo Chilli flakes or Pul Biber, and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. To season, we'll also add 1 teaspoon of salt. And the final ingredient is 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Once it has all been added, it's time to get in there with your hands and mix. Now I know what you're thinking, why mix by hand when you could just use a spatula or spoon instead? Well, bulgur has a tendency to clump up into small balls. Mixing by hand means you're constantly compressing the bulgur as you mix, and because of that you break up the clumps. You also ensure even distribution of the pastes and other ingredients amongst the whole tray, and you encourage the bulgur to absorb them. Yes, a spatula would work, however it would take a long time to ensure you don't have any pockets of ingredients and to evenly coat the bulgur. Traditionally, you would knead the bulgur by hand for anywhere between 5 to 20 minutes. But after just under 5 minutes, my bulgur was a single uniform colour, and when you get to this stage you can stop. The next step is to add the chopped vegetables to the bulgur and mix them in. Once again, you're going to knead the mixture to ensure that everything is evenly combined. After about a minute or two of kneading, the greens will be well distributed, and then we can add the pomegranate molasses. Pomegranate molasses varies in sourness and sweetness, so we'll start off by pouring 1/3 cup of pomegranate molasses evenly over our bulgur. Once you've poured it in, you'll mix it together once more until the pomegranate has been worked into the bulgur. Then give it a taste. It should taste a bit tart, sweet and bright. If it's a little weak, add a tablespoon or 2 more pomegranate molasses. My one was perfectly sweetened, but could do with more sourness. So instead of pomegranate molasses, I added lemon juice. Adjust the molasses and lemon to your personal preference before giving it one final taste. To serve it, I've lined a platter with some romaine lettuce leaves to be used as easy grab and go servings. Grab a handful of kisir and rub using your hand so that it forms clumps and falls onto the platter. Keep doing this until you have added as much kisir onto the dish as you'd like. Finally, before serving, I'm adding on a few more chopped spring onion slices. Then I'm topping it with some ribbons of sliced mint. You can of course drizzle more pomegranate molasses on too. I opted for an extra squeeze of lemon juice. And there you have it, what I consider one of the best salads ever and my all-time favourite vegan meal. If you're trying to reduce your meat consumption, give this a try. It'll really make you forget you're not eating meat. Now for the taste test, it's traditional to eat kisir using lettuce or grape leaves. So grab a lettuce leaf like I'm doing and fill it with some kisir. Fold it in half and look at that delicious mouthful of flavour. You've got your finely chopped parsley and mint evenly mixed with the plump bulgur, and it's all coated in a mixture of pepper, tomato, pomegranate and lemon. Believe me when I say the flavour is just extraordinary. You get a kick of tang and sweetness, followed by the brightness of the herbs and lemons. Then the savoury flavours from the pepper and tomato paste, and just the slightest hint of spice from the Aleppo pepper and the cumin. I really recommend you give this one a try and let me know how it turns out. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe as it really helps the channel. As usual, all the ingredients and directions are in the description box, and I'll be back next week with another recipe.